Good afternoon, Hofstra community. I'm Lincoln Annabali, the president of the Student Government Association. And before I begin my introduction, I figured I would save the president some time and give you all an update on the disappearance of our beloved mascots, Kate and Willie. As you saw in the videos, clues are adding up, and I believe that with our well-trained search team and all of our new clues, that we are near finding them, hopefully in time for Fall Fest weekend. But in all seriousness, I am honored to be with you today reflecting on Hofstra's accomplishments in the past year and looking forward to the future of Hofstra as we strategically move into the next 10 years. Now please join me in welcoming our president for the annual State of the University Address, Hofstra University President Susan Poser.
Thank you, Lincoln. Let's give Lincoln a hand. He's been such a great president of SGA. So good afternoon, and thank you for coming. I'm very excited to present the annual State of the University Address. And following this address, as always, there will be a picnic out in the Roosevelt Quad, rain or shine. I want to begin by welcoming the 40 new full-time faculty who have joined the Hofstra community over the past year. 27 are tenure system faculty, 3 are clinical faculty, and 10 are specials or visiting faculty. I'm happy to report that 45% of this year's new full-time faculty are faculty of color. We are making progress in having our faculty look more like our students. To all of our new faculty, I want to say thank you for choosing Hofstra. You are here to help create Hofstra's future, and we are delighted that you have joined this very special community. We have 2 new vice presidents this year. Dr. Cornell Craig was promoted from Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer to become Hofstra's inaugural Vice President for Equity and Inclusion. Paul Romano, a 23-year employee of Hofstra, became the Vice President for Facilities and Operations earlier this month upon the retirement of Joe Barkwell. I want to thank Joe Barkwell for his dedication and loyalty to Hofstra and wish him the best in retirement. On July 1st, we welcomed a new internal auditor to Hofstra, Ellen Caravella. Welcome, Ellen. 3 new academic deans joined the ranks over the past year. Last January, we welcomed the Dean of the University Library, Lori McAllister. Dean McAllister comes to us from Arizona State University. Please join me in welcoming Lori and thanking the interim Associate Dean, Sally Glasser, who stepped up to lead the library last year. On July 1st, we welcomed Jenny Roberts as the new Dean of the Maurice A. Dean School of Law. Dean Roberts comes to us from American University's Washington College of Law. Welcome, Jenny, and many thanks to Vice Dean Julian Koo for serving as interim law dean last year. And we are delighted that Professor Amy Catalano has stepped up to serve as the interim dean of the School of Education this year. Thank you, Amy. I want to acknowledge with gratitude the service of the Dean of the Hofstra Northwell School of Nursing and Physician Assistant Studies, Dr. Renee McLeod-Sorgen, who has decided to return to her full-time position at Northwell Health. We will be naming an interim dean very shortly and then beginning a national search for the next dean. Shamel Christie was promoted to Dean of Students last fall after serving as Associate Dean of Students for a year. This past year, we welcomed a new member of the Hofstra Board of Trustees, Mr. Kurt Lambert. Mr. Lambert earned an undergraduate degree in mathematics with a minor in anthropology from Hofstra. He currently serves as the chairman of the board of Forlum Ventures in Zurich, Switzerland. Now, last year, the theme of the State of the University was strategy, and we set out to create a strategic plan for the future of Hofstra. This year, the theme is action. We now have a plan, and it's time to focus on the action items to implement it and to build our future and reputation in these challenging and changing times. But before getting to the strategic plan, I would like to review some of the accomplishments of the past year to provide a shared understanding of the current state of our beloved university. On the enrollment front, the new freshman enrollment increased by about 166 students from last year at this time, and that's the blue line on this chart. Census is next week, so these numbers are not absolutely final, but right now it looks like we have 1,759 new first-year undergraduate students and 210 transfers, well over our targets. It is important to note that this was during a recruitment cycle fraught with uncertainty because of the federal government's delayed FAFSA. It was a tough recruiting year for admissions and financial aid professionals across the country. So let's thank Senior Vice President Jess Eads and her team for their extraordinary work in bringing in this class. The red line on this graph is the overall increase in enrollment of over 300 students this year. That is because we graduated the fall 2020 class last spring, and this was a small class that matriculated at the height of COVID, and we are now bringing in bigger classes. It was not because we made up the difference in graduate students, though we saw some growth, particularly the new physical therapy program in the School of Health Sciences. For the incoming first-year class, 61% of new students self-identify as students of color. That's the green line, tied with last year's new high. 35% are first-generation college-going. That's the purple line, a new high. 35% are Pell eligible, red line, also a new high. 36% from out of state, that's the blue line on the top, as we begin to return to having more out-of-state students post-COVID. And 2% are international, that's the orange line at the bottom. Last year, we maintained the 83% first-year retention rate from the previous year, which was a record high, and this year, for the cohort that started in the fall of 2023, the retention rate is expected to be 84%, another record. It is not high enough, but it is moving in the right direction. Now, I showed you this slide last year, the so-called enrollment cliff. The United States will soon enter a period of decreasing numbers of high school graduates, hence increasing competition for students. This is a key reality that drove the strategic plan and must now motivate a call to action to implement it. And now I will spend a few minutes reviewing some of the highlights of the past academic year, starting with the accomplishments of our faculty and students. And I will begin with Professor Carolyn Rusty Eisenberg, who was awarded the Bancroft Prize by Columbia University for her book, Fire and Rain, Nixon, Kissinger, and the Wars in Southeast Asia. This award is considered a top accolade for historians in American history and diplomacy, one of the most distinguished that any American historian can win. And it honors, and I quote, scope, significance, depth of research, and richness of interpretation. Congratulations, Rusty. Hofstra Law Professor Ellen Yarashevsky, the Howard Lichtenstein Distinguished Professor of Legal Ethics, received a Fulbright Scholar Program Award to conduct research and teaching in Brazil for the 24-25 academic year. Christine Zammit, Assistant Professor of Physician Assistant Studies, was named the New York State Paul Lombardo Emeritus Educator of the Year by the New York State Society of Physician Assistants. Camilla Barnes, Assistant Professor of Nursing, has been inducted into the inaugural class of Fellows of the Academy of Diversity Leaders in Nursing. Carolyn Dudek, Professor of Political Science, was selected as a Fellow for the 2024 Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy, known as ISGAP, at Oxford University. Johanna Franklin, Professor of Mathematics, received the Association for Women in Mathematics Service Award for 2024. Scott Brinton, Assistant Professor of Journalism, was named Faculty Champion of Local News by the Center for Community News at the University of Vermont. Sakia Dorset, Assistant Professor of Radio, TV, and Film, directed a 4-episode documentary, Stonewall 50, The Revolution, which was released for streaming on Peacock in June 2024. Several faculty in the Zucker School of Medicine have been elected to prestigious national positions. Dr. Jennifer Mears was named a top diversity officer for 2023 by Modern Healthcare. Dr. Stacy Rosen is the president-elect of the American Heart Association. Dr. Robert Roswell is the chair-elect of the American Board of Internal Medicine. And Dr. Karina Davidson was elected to the National Academy of Medicine. The faculty had a very good year with grants from the National Science Foundation. Luciano Santaferrara, Associate Professor in Biology, is the principal investigator on an NSF award for $453,000 to conduct research on the structure and functioning of microbial plankton under coastal hypoxia. Defang Wang, Assistant Professor of Biology, is the PI on an award of $452,000 to conduct research on the epigenetic regulation of transposable elements in maize. Tony Gordon, Visiting Scholar at the Center for STEM Research in the School of Engineering and Applied Science, is the PI leading a consortium that received an award for $2 million for exploring computation integrity into technology and engineering. NSF awarded $1.3 million to the Center for STEM Research, co-directed by Professors David Burghardt and Michael Hacker, to expand technology and computer science instruction across New York State. Jan-Shen Shan, Associate Professor of Computer Science, is the PI on an award for $328,000 entitled Octopus OS, a high-performance cloud OS with accurate resource abstraction. Krish Pillai Pakhamnat, Professor of Computer Science, received an award of $273,000 for expanding the undergraduate AI talent pipeline. H-class faculty Kelly McMasters, Martha McPhee, Simon Doubleday and Brian Keeley, and Mina Bose and Paul Fritz published books this past year. Last fall, Ibrahim Karai, Assistant Professor of Population Health and Director of the Health Science Program, gave the Distinguished Faculty Lecture. And in the spring 2024, the Distinguished Faculty Lecture was given by Vicente Yedo Guillem, Professor of Spanish in the Department of Romance Languages and Literatures. The Provost honored 2 Researchers of the Year this past year, Ehsan Nikbakht, CV Star Distinguished Professor of Finance and International Financial Services, and Luciana Santaferrara, Assistant Professor of Biology. The Lawrence A. Stessen Prize for Outstanding Scholarly Publication is given to early career faculty for their scholarly efforts. And this year the winners were Nicholas Myrna, Associate Professor of Engineering, Daniel Miller, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, and Alex Sinha, Associate Professor of Law. The Mentor of the Year honors outstanding faculty who supervised advanced undergraduate research or creative projects. This award went to Craig Dalton, Associate Professor of Global Studies and Geography. Now, as usual, Hofstra students were busy excelling in many ways last year. The Hofstra Speech and Debate team had another stellar year. The team placed high in 2 divisions at the National Forensic Association Championship. At the 2024 International Forensics Association in Dublin, Ireland, they were world champions in communication analysis. This capped a season of more than 15 competitions with 75 awards, including 13 individual first place wins and 9 team awards. The Hofstra Speech and Debate team is directed by Professor Trent Webb. Laika Jerome, a double major in political science and global studies, received the American Political Science Association's 2024 Bunch Summer Institute Program Scholarship to attend Duke University in the summer to learn about doctoral study in political science. Hofstra Law's team of third-year students, Rochelle Podolsky and Katie Giron, tied with the team from the UCLA School of Law to win the online national championship in trial advocacy. The Student Government Association, ably led last year by President Lincoln Annibale and Vice President Sidney Livingston, had many initiatives, including expanded availability of menstrual product dispensers across campus, improved resource allocation for clubs and organizations, extended hours in the fitness center and HOF USA, and upgrades to the residence halls. At the 2024 Universal Cheer Association and Universal Dance Association College Nationals, Hofstra's cheer team placed first in the small co-ed premier division, and the Hofstra dance team placed first in the Division I POM competition. Moving on to the colleges and schools, the music business program was again named a top music business program in Billboard magazine for 2023. The number of students enrolled in this program has nearly tripled since the curriculum was introduced in 2017. The Pre-Health, Pre-Medical Studies program has a new BA with a concentration in Africana Studies, which introduces students to courses exploring the African diaspora and how racism, injustice, and inequality are public health issues. This past academic year marked the 75th anniversary of the Hofstra Shakespeare Festival, directed by Professor Keith Pinot. The anniversary was celebrated with a performance of The Merry Wives of Windsor on Hofstra's renowned replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre stage. The Zarb School of Business was ranked 18th in Poets and Quant's top 100 online MBA programs in the United States, advancing 12 positions. And the Zarb Online MBA landed in the top 10 for academic experience. The Zarb School of Business hosted the Technology in Business Schools Roundtable, a 4-day conference about AI and its growing influence in business education. The event brought together 30 leading business schools from across the country, including those of Harvard, Notre Dame, and Yale. Now, in addition to all of those NSF awards I read earlier, the DeMatteis School of Engineering and Applied Science received $273,000 research award as part of an ongoing collaboration with Cornell University and the University of Illinois that seeks to increase the number of underrepresented women in computer science. The School of Engineering and Applied Science received ABET reaccreditation for all 6 engineering programs last year. That's civil, computer, electrical, industrial, mechanical, and bioengineering. And a fully operational makerspace with a dedicated full-time director opened in December 2023 in their new building, and its manufacturing and other machines are being used by students in the school to design and build models for testing in fields from aerospace engineering to bioengineering. Last fall, the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication launched a new Bachelor of Science in Sports Media, a joint interdisciplinary degree of the school's 2 departments. It taps into the growing professional field of live sports media. And on a similar note, the Herbert School and Hofstra Athletics have collaborated on new facilities and equipment to enable live sports broadcasting and streaming so that staff and student teams can provide industry-standard live streams and broadcasts of Hofstra's Division I athletic competitions. Professors Scott Brinton and Ashish Kumar and Vice Dean Mario Murillo took on a study of the suburban news desert with a focus on communities surrounding the Hofstra campus. The team presented their pioneering work at several conferences, including winning Best Faculty Paper Award from the Association for Education in Journalism and Mass Media. The School of Health Professions and Human Sciences got a new name last spring. It is now officially the School of Health Sciences. In July, the School of Health Sciences launched the new Doctor of Physical Therapy program with an inaugural class of 28 students. The program has 7 full-time faculty members and advanced technology for teaching and research. And last year, the School of Education became its own school, independent from the Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. And that faculty spent the past year preparing a comprehensive self-study report for new accreditation. The Hofstra Northwell School of Nursing and Physician Assistant Studies master's programs have moved up 35 spots in the rankings, landing at number 38 in the nation. The Doctor of Nursing Practice Certified Registered Nurse Anesthetist program, which just graduated its inaugural class, is already ranked number 36 nationwide. And in partnership with the Center of Civic Engagement, the Honors College Service Corps became the Hofstra University Service Corps. Students from across the university are engaged in community projects, including Hempstead High School tutoring, homework help at the Hempstead and Uniondale libraries, and working at the Interfaith nutritional network, known as the INN. The Maurice A. Dean School of Law was ranked in the top 50 nationally by Law.com in its 2024 Go-To Law Schools annual report. The listing is based on law schools with the highest percentage of 2023 graduates who are hired as associates at the nation's largest 100 law firms. The class of 2024 also demonstrated a tremendous commitment to pro bono work during their 3 years at Hofstra Law, collectively contributing nearly 86,000 hours of service, or an average of 565 hours of service per student. The Zucker School of Medicine has been named one of the nation's top medical schools for research and diversity by U.S. News & World Report. And the school has formed a new partnership with Special Operations Forces to support United States military veterans in their journey to become physicians. This collaboration creates a pathway for members of the Special Operations Forces to enter the field of medicine. The library is undergoing a transformation to better support the university's research and educational mission. The dean launched a holistic review of all Hofstra research collections, along with an effort to relocate, rehouse, or deaccession more than 90,000 print volumes. This project will result in the clearing of the 4th floor to make room for the Center for University Advising. The 10th floor of the library has been transformed into a student study area, and the 9th floor is in the planning stage of a similar transition that will include group study areas and library offices. Vice President for Equity and Inclusion Cornell Craig established the university-wide Equity Council to communicate and collaborate with school and college-based DEI committees and other strategic partners. His office is also supporting employee resource groups to encourage more community and increased cultural competence among professional colleagues. Over the summer, Hofstra partnered with OpenAI and created a process by which faculty, staff, and administrators can apply for one of 500 ChatGPT.edu licenses to experiment with incorporating AI into their teaching and work. The new mobile student ID was released to incoming students earlier this month. HofPass allows students to touch their phone or compatible watch to ID readers located around campus to access residence halls and charge their meal plan. And last spring, thanks to the work of Professor Rosanna Parati, an associate to the President Shonda Washington, Hofstra was named an early voting location for the 2024 presidential primaries and general election. If you are a registered voter in Nassau County, you can cast your ballot from October 26th through November 3rd in our Student Center. The Axon Library and the Unispan underwent exterior renovations this past year. It's amazing what some new windows and a fresh coat of paint can do. Hof USA has been painted and renovated. Roosevelt Hall renovations were completed this summer to make it more accessible, with 7 updated classrooms, new entry ramps, additional door openers, and a new testing center and student access services suite. Hofstra alumnus Charles C. Fry, class of 1955, bequeathed $35 million to fund undergraduate scholarships at the Zarb School of Business. The Fry Endowment is the largest gift Hofstra has ever received for undergraduate scholarships and the second largest gift in Hofstra's history. This gift and many others helped propel the Office of Development to have its most successful year of fundraising in history, raising more than $46 million. The Division of Marketing and Communications revived and revitalized the Hofstra magazine last fall and is now producing 2 issues per year, one in the fall and one in the spring. The first issue, last fall, won the Bronze Award from EDU Ad Awards, and the cover won first place at the Press Club of Long Island Awards. Marketing and Comm Vice President Terry Coniglio is leading currently a brand refresh exercise for the Hofstra logo and type treatment, which will be completed in a few months. Hofstra student athletes continue to excel in the classroom and in service to the community. They set a Hofstra record of a combined average 3.53 GPA during the spring 2024 semester, and in the community, they performed more than 3,200 hours of service. 4 teams, men's soccer, wrestling, men's outdoor track and field, and women's outdoor track and field, had teams or individual student athletes advance to the NCAA championships. Men's soccer won its 3rd consecutive conference championship and received a national seed at number 14 for the first time. They advanced to the 3rd round of the NCAA championship last year. Now this, have a drink of water. This was a very quick tour through last year with just some of the highlights. I know many things were left out, either because we did not know about them or because the speech was already too long. Now, many of you have heard me say why I came to Hofstra, why I thought this would be a wonderful place to serve as the president. And it wasn't just its standing in New York and nationally, or the beauty of the campus, or even the wonderful community that it offers. It was all of this, plus the incredible array of programs at the undergraduate, the graduate, and the professional level on a campus that still has the feel of a liberal arts college. That struck me as very special and as full of potential. We set off on a strategic planning journey that began with asking all of you and our many constituencies, who are we and what do we want to be? And I'm very pleased that after 3 years of a highly collaborative and participatory process, we have a strategic plan that reaches out over the next 10 years to Hofstra's centennial in 2035. Now, you may recall at last year's State of the University, I reviewed the process by which we gathered information from the Hofstra community to build this plan. And I ended that address with this slide, which shows how the vision project and the strategic directions request for proposals to the faculty led to the identification of 4 areas of focus for the strategic plan. The task for this past academic year was to constitute the 4 committees listed across the bottom of the slide, and with their input, draft the plan. Also, using the information in this process, we drafted a set of core values and vetted them through the Faculty Strategic Directions Committee, which oversaw the RFP process, as well as the deans, leaders of the faculty, the University Senate, the Chair's Caucus, and the Board of Trustees. This is where we landed with the core values after all that consultation. Similarly, and with the same vetting process, we drafted a new mission statement for the university. The mission statement has been adopted by the Faculty Senate and will go to the full faculty for final review next week. Each of the committees was charged to develop implementation steps in their area, and to do this in the spirit of these core values and the mission statement. The 4 committees began meeting in January 2024. They devoted an enormous amount of time and energy to their task and worked intensely for the entire spring semester. Let's thank these faculty, staff, administrators, and students with a big round of applause. In late spring 2024, representatives from each committee participated in 2 public forums to present their conclusions to the campus community. We took the information from the Vision Project, the RFP submissions, and the 4 committees and drafted the strategic plan. The plan consists of 4 narratives, represented here by the 4 circles along the bottom of this slide. These narratives detail each of the 4 goals, and following each narrative are specific implementation steps. I want to take a moment to thank Vice President Terry Coniglio and her team, particularly Kelvin Fonville, for creating this wonderful design that represents the plan. On your way out, there's a little swag of this to give you. The plan is available on the Hofstra website, currently behind the portal, but you can access it through this QR code. Now I want to spend a few minutes describing the strategic plan and the implementation steps, particularly the steps that have already been taken. Much of what I will now present will be direct quotations from the language of the plan itself, which in many cases came from the language of the 4 committee reports. So, goal 1. The plan provides a path to differentiating Hofstra's academic program by leaning into our strengths, particularly the breadth of Hofstra's academic programs and our relatively small size, providing the opportunity for truly interdisciplinary education across the curriculum. With the first goal, we will reinforce the fundamental value of a liberal arts core by providing an opportunity to experience how it relates to skills needed for career readiness. Co-taught courses and integrated interdisciplinary majors will in many cases combine faculty expertise in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences with the more specialized focus of the other Hofstra schools. We will empower and incentivize faculty to create interdisciplinary courses and programs that combine disciplines in ways that engage and appeal to students and are of value to the curriculum overall, both in terms of creating new knowledge and expanding students' future career opportunities. As I have said before, doing interdisciplinary work at a university is not a novel idea. Yet this kind of work is often subtly discouraged by existing academic rules and structures, whether they be about the calculation of credit hour load or departmental requirements for tenure and promotion. We will adopt new rules that encourage interdisciplinary work and demonstrate how teams of people from different disciplines together can offer new and important perspectives. Now, I am not suggesting that our entire curriculum should be interdisciplinary. Disciplinary expertise is foundational, whether in English literature, the basics of coding, or the rules of accounting. But we can do both. On a related note, I want to mention that this is a particularly opportune moment to consider how the liberal arts can be integrated with the disciplines that are more focused on the acquisition of knowledge and skills for a particular career. As artificial intelligence is introduced into many professions and careers, there will be renewed interest in the hallmark skills of critical thinking, communication, and good writing. These fundamentally human skills are unlikely to be replaced by machines. Rather, they will be sought in combination with more specific skills in business, engineering, communication, healthcare. As I've heard said many times over the past year, AI will not take your job, but someone who understands how it relates to your job will. We must embrace this technology and teach our students how it relates to their course of study and their chosen career. Expanding upon our long history of community engagement on Long Island and encouraging faculty to include community engagement in their courses for academic credit is the second goal of the plan. It gives recognition to the importance of place and responsibility of the university as a member of a particular local community and should appeal to so many of our students' desire to use their education to make a difference in the world. This goal continues Hofstra's tradition of productive relationships with the organization's leaders and school districts seeking to build a better Long Island. As this committee report declared, we listen and follow as much as we speak and lead. We choose our forms of engagement deliberately and flexibly to align the university's resources and broader strategic plan with emergent opportunities to create effective partnerships. Now, the core mission of Hofstra University is to provide an education that prepares students to become productive members of society. Therefore, student success is the responsibility of everyone on this campus. This generation of students has encountered multiple societal challenges, from the rise in school shootings, to the effects of climate change, to the influence of social media, to a global pandemic that interrupted the normal course of their schooling at elementary, high school, and for many graduate students, college careers. This plan takes a holistic approach to student success in order to support every student as an individual and provide a pathway to a timely graduation. And finally, with this plan, the university adopts an ethos, and this is also very much from the report, an ethos that embraces change as an opportunity to promote growth, acknowledging that sustained and transformative excellence in organizational agility at Hofstra University will be applied in everything we do. In keeping with core principles of organizational agility, the university designs its operations around motivated individuals, gives them the support they require, and then trusts them to get the job done. Hofstra will enhance its mission by strategically identifying and sunsetting activities that no longer align with our values or strategic priorities. This collaborative process allows for the reallocation of resources to initiatives that better serve the institution's mission and future growth. Now, this plan offers a broad directional map of what we want to accomplish and what we want to look like over the next decade. And now that plan must be married to action. So baked right into the plan are concrete implementation steps, some of which, as I mentioned before, are already underway. Now, rather than go through all of them, since you all know how to read and you're probably getting hungry by now, I thought it would be better to mention just a few, a sampling of the implementation steps that have already been taken or will be taken up soon, as we begin to turn these lofty ideas into reality. Now, we have a few new programs in process. H-Class and the DeMatteis School of Engineering, through the RFP process, created a BA and BS in Human Factors and Usability Studies, which were recently approved by the state of New York. This program reflects a societal need to solve complex challenges through an understanding of scientific and design principles that enable humans to access and interact with various digital environments, products, and documents. H-Class also has a new study abroad program called Hofstra in Germany that combines political science and health sciences to give students a unique opportunity to meet with international academics and healthcare professionals in order to understand the intersection of health policy, society, and culture. And as I mentioned earlier, there are several pre-existing programs, music business, as well as the new sports media program at the Herbert School of Communication. So interdisciplinary initiatives are actually in the works in most, if not all, of the schools right now. We hired the director of a new Institute for Public Humanities and the Arts, Dr. Rhonda Gerlich, recently arrived on campus and is already working on programming for this academic year. Last spring, the Herbert School of Communication launched the Hofstra Uniondale Pathway Program, enrolling a cohort of 15 Uniondale High School juniors who took a weekly class on campus with Professor Brian McFadden and have returned as high school seniors for another semester of study this fall, earning a total of 6 Hofstra credits. Up to 4 of these students will receive scholarship support for tuition and housing to enroll in Hofstra University in fall 2025. This project will enroll a new Uniondale High School cohort, each year going forward. The medical school offers a recently developed program on community health and engagement that has resulted in a special recognition at commencement termed Graduating with Distinction in Community Service. We are currently recruiting a program manager in community and government affairs to monitor community engagement, and we will build a web portal where this information will be located. This past summer, the Office of Equity and Inclusion created and trained its first cohort in the Hofstra Certificate in Inclusive Leadership program. This certificate program trains K-12 school district leaders, faculty, and administrators in accord with guidance of the New York State Board of Regents. Led by Professor Christine Weingartner, Vice Dean in H Class, and Russ Smith, Director of First Generation Student Support, 23 faculty from several schools and student affairs have created over 20 sections of a pilot first-year seminar that helps students navigate college and foster a sense of resilience and belonging. These pilots are in anticipation of creating a seminar that all first-year Hofstra students will take. Athletics has expanded academic support for student athletes and created a holistic student-athlete life skills program with 10 targeted educational opportunities outside of the traditional learning environment. And as I mentioned earlier, over the summer, we partnered with OpenAI for ChatGPT.edu licenses. 109 licenses have been distributed thus far, and there are plenty more to go around. If this is news to you, check your email from the summer, where there are instructions about how to apply. Earlier this month, Student Affairs launched Timely Care. This is an online platform that provides counseling sessions and mental health resources available 24/7 from a diverse provider set in multiple languages. These services are offered in addition to live counseling. And Athletics recently hired a full-time psychologist to support its 385 student athletes. We recently renovated student spaces in order to enhance a feeling of belonging. For example, Student Enrollment Engagement and Success created a first-generation student lounge that houses the Director of First-Generation Support and Engagement and peer support staff. In fall 2024, we launched Accommodate, a tool that enables the Student Access Services Division to manage accommodation requests and connect holistically with students to enhance their experience and streamline campus operations and collaborations for this student population. And an annual capital allocation has been created to fund increased accessibility on campus. In response to faculty input, we are going to revive the Teaching and Learning Center and hire a director. I'll use that to drink some more water. A permanent organizational agility committee is being formed to oversee implementation of Goal 4. Financial Affairs implemented Chrome River to streamline travel reimbursements and other software called Budget Pack to enhance monitoring of budgets. We also have a new travel website to help faculty and staff guide them in applying for reimbursement. Offices of the Provost, General Counsel, and Financial Affairs have been working to eliminate unnecessary approvals relating to grant applications. And as mentioned before, mobile credentials launched for the fall 2024 entering class were created, and this includes a virtual Hofstra ID card for access and dining. The Carnegie Research 2, known as R2 University designation, which we expect Hofstra will receive in early 2025, indicates that Hofstra has achieved a level of research and scholarly productivity reached by fewer than 300 colleges and universities in the United States. It signals that Hofstra has established an environment in which faculty create and share transformative knowledge for the benefit of student learning and societal impact. The ambition to be a thriving R2 university is woven throughout this strategic plan, through a commitment to expanding scholarly impact through the creation of innovative interdisciplinary programs, strengthening graduate programs and increasing research and creative activity. The plan envisions building faculty incentives, including adjustments to faculty workload, promotion standards, and creating additional faculty tracks to foster interdisciplinary teaching and research. The university is committed to supporting increased research activities by investing in facilities, startup packages, and fostering external partnerships. We plan to start a search this fall to hire a director of AI who will report to the CIO, Jesse Webster. A data governance council has been formed to ensure that university data is secure, accurate, and readily available to those who need it, and that we are all using the same data. This includes both the processes we will follow and the technology that supports us. Now, in conclusion, I want to mention 3 things that are critical to the success of this plan going forward, in addition to support for and participation in its implementation. First, the plan is a living document. We may find that some things will not work the way we expected, and we may identify new and interesting ways to reach our goals. If we do, then we will revise the plan. Having agility as its own goal reinforces that adaptation will be required. My second point is related to the first. Part of adaptation is subtraction. As we build and add, we will find programs, activities, and processes that are no longer serving us. I challenge everyone on campus to think hard about what you do and see on a daily basis and ask yourselves, is this serving an institutional goal, and is it being done in an optimal way? And if not, we should consider eliminating it or changing it so that it serves our goals. And finally, accountability. The goals of this plan are highly varied, so we are developing a method of accountability and tracking implementation. This includes aligning plans at the school, college, departmental, and division levels. Now, I believe that this plan, to which literally hundreds of people contributed, accomplishes what the moment requires as we face the shifting headwinds affecting higher education. It is a path to differentiating our academic programs in a competitive marketplace, supporting the faculty as we transition to R2 status, and ensuring that every member of our increasingly diverse student body is supported holistically and with a clear pathway to timely graduation. In order to support all of these goals, this plan includes a concerted effort to streamline our processes for efficiency and effectiveness so that we can become more agile and able to serve our community now and into the future. So thank you for listening, and now lunch is served on the Roosevelt Quad.